this video lecture, we are going to move through the outline of the proof of Cauchy's theorem, third version. So as you can see, the statement says that if you have two closed rectifiable curves in G such that gamma naught is homotopic to gamma 1, which we have seen the definition, then integral over gamma naught f is equal to integral over gamma 1 f for every function f analytic in G. So to see the proof, suppose if small gamma is a function from I cross I to G, where I is equal to close to level 0, 1, and this is nothing but the homotopy function in between gamma naught and gamma 1. Here I is equal to close to level 0, 1 is a compact set in R. Since finite product of compact sets is compact, that will imply I cross I is equal to closed level 0, 1 cross closed level 0, 1 is compact in R cross R. Since gamma is a continuous function, it is a homotopy function, so it is continuous. That will mean that gamma of I cross I is compact, as the continuous image of a compact set is compact in G. So also, as G is an open set, the complement of G, C minus G, is a closed set inside the set we are talking about. Now, when we have two disjoint sets A and B in the metric space, such that metric space XT, such that one is closed, B is closed, and A is compact, then the distance between the sets A and B is strictly greater than 0. It is a theorem. In chapter 2, the numbering will be 5.17. You can refer to that. So here C minus G is a closed set and gamma of I cross I is a compact set in G. So that means the distance between these two sets, distance of gamma of I cross I and C minus G is equal to some strictly positive quantity, call it small r. Now since continuous function on a closed set will be a uniformly continuous function, here we have gamma to be a uniformly continuous function also, and by the definition of uniform continuity we can say that there exists an n belongs to set of natural numbers such that whenever the distance between the 2 points ordered pair st and ordered pair s dash t dash is strictly less than 2 by n, that is square root of s minus s dash the whole square plus t minus t dash the whole square is strictly less than 2 by n. That means it is nothing but the Euclidean distance. This will imply that modulus of gamma of st minus gamma of s dash t dash is strictly less than r. Okay, so we have a question how this 2 by nk. So that will be justified for you. Why? Because we are choosing an R which is having the distance which is strictly greater than R. So you will have a corresponding delta and n which satisfies like that. So now we are going to define a new set ZJK, which is equal to gamma of j by n, k by n. It is an ordered pair, apply gamma on it. Okay, so j and k are varying inside 0 and n. Define another new set which is capital J suffix jk, which is equal to the cross product of the two intervals, closed interval j by n comma j plus 1 by n and k by n, closed interval k by n and k plus 1 by n. Here j is varying between 0 to n minus 1, k is varying in between 0 to n minus 1. So by the definition you can understand that J00, J01, J02, J03, J10, J11, J12, J13, etc., J20, J20, J21, J22, J23, etc. like that. You can arrange them like this, and also the corresponding set JKs can be written like this. So note that this will be a point, and gamma is the gamma on that point will be the Z, which we have defined. So here the JJKs will be something like this. It is kind of cross product. So this will be an arbitrary JJK where J is happening to be here and K is happening to be here. Now also the diameter of JJK can be calculated. The maximum distance that is possible will be the distance which is given from the boundaries. So you get that is equal to the square root of j plus 1 by n minus j by n the whole square plus k plus 1 by n minus k by n the whole square. And when you solve it out, you get root 2 by n. So now we are claiming that gamma of JJK is a subset of the open ball centered at set JK with radius R. Suppose W belongs to gamma of JJK, that will imply W is equal to gamma of Z, where Z is happening inside the JJK. Okay. For any two points inside JJK, the distance between them is within root 2 by n. We had said that maximum distance, that is the diameter, is root 2 by n, and also this root 2 by n is strictly less than 2 by n. Also the point ordered pair j by n, k by n belongs to JJK, this set definitely. So this will imply that the distance between the point z and this point j by n, k by n will be also strictly less than 2 by n. And we had proved that gamma is, we had mentioned and understood that gamma is a uniformly continuous function. So whenever this happens, we said the distance between the gamma of those points will be strictly less than r. Okay, so that is happening here. So here you have gamma of j by ordered pair j by n, k by n, that is strictly less than r. That is strictly less than r. So that will prove our claim. Okay, after that, after the claim, let capital P suffix jk be the closed quadrilateral which is having the vertices to be set jk, set j plus 1k, set j plus 1 k plus 1, set j k plus 1, set jk, which is nothing but the when you give the definition of zjks, you get like this. And all the disks are obviously convex, and this will imply that the closed quadrilateral PJK will lie completely inside the disk B set JKR, also since the diameter of PJK is strictly less than R. So since PJK is a closed rectifiable curve in the open disk B set JKR, we get that integral over pjk f of z dz is equal to 0 for any analytic function in G. This is the application of the theorem which we had proved earlier. Now suppose if QK be a closed polygon with the vertices set 0k, set 1k, etc. set nk. So this is a polygon which is an approximation of the closed path gamma of sk by n, where s is varying inside closed interval 0 1, and from there we have to show that integral over gamma naught f of z dz is equal to integral over q naught f of z dz, which is equal to integral over q1 f of z dz, which is equal to etc., which is equal to integral over q1 f of z dz, which is equal to integral over gamma 1 f of z dz. So for that we have to define sigma j of t belonging to gamma naught of t for every t belongs to closed interval j by n, j plus 1 by n, so that it is just a partition of gamma naught. So this gamma j plus the closed interval set j plus 1 0, set j 0, which is nothing but gamma j followed by a polygon, that is it is of some kind of this form, is actually a closed curve and it is rectifiable in the disk B set J naught R subset of G, because we know that gamma is a uniformly continuous function, and from there you can obtain that integral over sigma j plus the quotient set j plus 1 0 comma set j 0 f of z dz is equal to 0, or you get the equations sitting here, and you can sum both sides by varying j is equal to 0 to n minus 1, and that will finally make you reach the conclusion that integral over gamma naught f of z dz is equal to integral over q naught f of z dz. Similarly, integral over gamma 1 f of z dz is equal to integral over q1 f of z dz, and from the earlier equation star you can sum what you obtained and you get summation over j is equal to 0 to n minus 1 integral over pjk f of z dz is equal to 0, call it double star, and for j and j plus 1 you can observe the diagram and understand how the pjk and pj plus 1k are coming, the polygon is coming, and here the right hand part of pjk and the left hand part of pj plus 1k lead to the integrals which cancel out each other. Also set 0k is equal to gamma of 0k by n, which is equal to gamma of 1k by n, which is equal to set nk, because we know that gamma is a homotopy function. So you get that the closed interval set naught k plus 1 comma set 0k is equal to minus of set 1k set 1 k plus 1, and from the double star equation you get integral over qk f of z dz is equal to integral over qk plus 1 f of z dz, and you reach at the final conclusion integral over gamma naught f of z dz. In the midst you have the integrals over q naught, q1, etc. qn, and in the end you have that is equal to integral over gamma 1 f of z dz. So this is actually an outline of how we can prove this theorem, the third version of Cauchy's theorem. Make a rigorous proof by using this outline. And thank you for watching out this video. See you in the next lecture.